What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Wednesday morning episode on this final day of the month of July, July 31st. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. As we discussed last night, and thank you for all the messages, DMs, and kind words. I appreciate you guys. No ranting here tonight. Daughter's birthday was tremendous. She only turned 10 once, so that was a lot of fun. She'll have a party here in a couple of weeks, in the month of August, actually, when all their friends are back from their summer break. We go back to school here in Vegas in less than 2 weeks, if you can believe that. So we did 2 bets yesterday in college football for win totals. We've got 2 more bets coming at you guys here today. I'm going to tell you this. I have thought long and hard about betting under 6.5 wins for Washington. Washington's bringing in an entirely new coaching staff. They have 2 starters returning. That's the lowest of any team in all of the Power 4. So I'm tempted to bet under 6.5. I haven't done it yet, okay? But that could be a play later. I just want to read more about how the team is gelling. They've got a coach coming up from Arizona who's been pretty good, who worked magic down there. So I want to see how things roll a bit more before I fire on an under for 6.5 wins for Washington. But I do have 2 bets for you guys going here for our college football future. So yesterday was Iowa State. I'm going to give you 2 more overs. I don't mean to do this. I don't always like to bet overs on win totals. There are unders I like to play. But I have found 2 that I like a lot. And let's start with UNLV. Full disclosure, I am a professor at UNLV, okay? I've got kids in my class who play college football for UNLV. I do not talk to them about anything to do with the football program by any stretch of the imagination. I teach them audio announcing. I am an audio announcer professor, adjunct professor at UNLV. Has nothing to do with this pick. UNLV, here in Vegas, you can get over 7 wins at minus 140. Find 7. A lot of books are at 7.5. Find 7. Here is why. UNLV last year under Barry Odom did incredible things. Now, they lost their starting quarterback to a transfer. He took off and left and went to go play, you could say, jump ship. Went to go play at Lincoln Riley at USC. Hard to argue, okay? From UNLV to USC, let's see what he does given what happened last year with Caleb Williams and whatnot. But Jaden Maeva was phenomenal for UNLV last year. They're bringing in a kid from Holy Cross, my neck of the woods, out in New England. A kid named Matthew Saluka. Can run, can throw. I can't wait to see what this kid does in the offense because he's got a weapon that is incredible to pass to. And a kid that normally would not have stayed, but Ricky White is tremendous for UNLV. They're paying him NIL money to stick around. 88 catches, over 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns. Massive big-time threat. He also has other receivers to throw to. This offense is going to be good. Brendan Marion has an offense that's going to put up big numbers. Now, can the defense stop anybody? That's going to be a big question mark, okay? Last year they could not, but they went into the transfer portal. Barry Odom is a defensive-minded coach. Let's see what they can do. They got a good linebacking core. Their secondary should be better thanks to the transfer portal, and Barry Odom has this town buzzing. People are believing in UNLV. They think this team could make a bowl game. They think this team could make some noise. Big games coming up here in the Mountain West Conference. But Ricky White's tremendous. Got a couple of really good linebackers, decent running backs. Jaden Thomas, guy who could have a breakout year. I like UNLV a lot, okay? The question's going to be the overall schedule as to what will they wind up doing, okay? Here's the schedule for Nevada. Sorry, for UNLV rather. They played Nevada, but for UNLV. At Houston out of the gate. It's probably a loss, okay? Probably a loss. Over in that game. Utah Tech at home. Should be a win. They go to Kansas in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Toss-up, but they played in the bowl game, and UNLV lost in a crazy shootout to Kansas. Massive game. They can win that game. It's a huge game for them. Bigger for them than for Kansas. Kansas might overlook them. It could be a 2-1 start for UNLV, but most likely a 1-2 start. Huge game at home against Fresno State. Massive game against Fresno. I think they win that game. They're at home. They won their home games last year. I think they win that game. Syracuse comes in on a Friday night. Non-conference game against the Orange. Like everybody ever who went to Syracuse is coming to Vegas to watch that game. Don't know about that. That's going to be a tough one, but hey, it's at home. I think they might be able to pull it off. They go to Utah State, which I'm going to be honest, that's probably going to be a difficult game for them to go up there and win. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but let's just say, let's give it to them, okay? Let's say that they win that game. So we're sitting here with a team for UNLV that has a legitimate shot at making some big noise in the conference. They play Oregon State on the road. That's probably going to be a loss. So let's say it's 2 losses there, right? It's 12 games, 7-5. Let's just give it 3 losses. Boise coming in. That's probably a loss. That might be 4. The rest of the way, they got to win out, okay? And it's 7 flat, not 7.5, 7 flat. At Hawaii, win. San Diego State at home should be a win. At San Jose State should be a win. Home for UNR should be a win. An 8-4 or 7-5 season's very likely. I think could be 7, 8, or even 9 wins for Barry Odom's team if this offense keeps on clicking and the defense can play the way we think the defense might be able to step up and play. It may not be easy. It may be hard. But I think this team, if they continue to be outstanding on third down, they can't turn the football over. They were 27-19 in turnovers last year, and folks are going to show up, okay? UNLV's got some buzz around them. They've got a chance. Their special teams have been very good under Barry Odom. Don't turn the football over. Don't make mistakes. Don't get flags, and let this offense cook. I think 7-5 is the bottom here. I think they could easily win 8 games. I think 7-5 over 7. Big number. Get 7 minus 140. It's 1.4 units down. Like I always say, I bet more than that, but 1.4 units down on UNLV over 7 wins at minus 140. And the next bet that I'm going to give you guys, I may have other futures. I'll definitely have NFL futures later in the summer, but let's talk about Miami. The U. This is really interesting because they got the best quarterback in the transfer portal. Cam Ward. Okay. This dude, I mean, really interesting to see. Perfect fit for Washington State. Came close to throwing 7,000 yards, 48 touchdowns, 16 picks in 2 years. Could have gone to the NFL. Instead, because he went to the FCS and there's some questions about him, he goes, all right, I'm going to go to Miami. I'm going to go to a team that really needs help. I'm going to go to a team that's got a really good transfer running back in Damian Martinez, and their quarterback running back tandem may be the best in the ACC, okay? Just really good. Mario Cristobal has got to get this team rolling. Okay? Under 500 since taking over. This is the time. This is the year where Miami Hurricane fans feel like this is the year for them to make some serious, serious noise. Their defense is going to be okay, but their offensive line is going to be tremendous. Run the football with Damian Martinez, kid transferring from Oregon State, coming in 16 touchdowns rushing for Oregon State last year. Let's see what he can do here in this offense with Mario Cristobal. Got to be able to throw the ball. Got to be able to get some big play guys, and there are some wide receivers here for this team that could make a big impact throwing the football for Miami. But it's all about the schedule. And I got to be honest, the number's 9. The game at Florida to start the year could really decide this bet. They need to win at Florida. Now, Billy Napier has not been good. Not been good. Huge game. If Miami can go to Gainesville and win out of the gate, this bet's going to cash. Okay, let's just say they lose, however. Florida A&M at home is a win. Ball State is a win. At Central Florida will be a tough game, but I think they win that game. They play Vatech at home. That's a monster game on a Friday night in Miami. Huge game. I need this to be a win here for Miami. If that happens, they open up 4-1 or 5-0. Let's just say 4-1 on the road at Cal. Yes, cross-country trek, difficult game. I think that they win that game. Then the bye week happens. After the bye, let's just say they're 5-1 after the bye, 4-2 at worst. They're at Louisville. Whoa. Okay? Tough game. Say they lose that game. They have Florida State at home. They haven't beaten Florida State in a really, really long time. This is a big game for the alumni. This is a big game for Miami as a whole. I'm going to give it to the Canes here to win against Florida State at home. Okay? So let's say that's 5 wins. Duke at Georgia Tech, bye week, Wake Forest, and at Syracuse. You got to win all those games. If you win all 4 of those games, they win 10 games. They go 10-2. This team can win the ACC. This team could make the playoffs potentially. I love Cam Ward in this offense. I think the defense will be better. The total was 9. I think we get at worst 9. It's -110. Miami Hurricanes over 9 wins at -110. Again, the losses could be at Florida, at Louisville, and maybe that's it. And it's a 10-2 season for Miami. I think they could beat Florida out of the gate. If they do that, they're 6-0 as they go to Louisville. Huge game against the Cardinals there. If they beat them, monster game against Florida State. They're 7-0. Could happen. Then they go and, they got Duke at home. They can beat Duke. Georgia Tech on the road. They should win that game. They got a bye week. And then they get into Wake Forest and Syracuse, at home and on the road. But double-digit wins is not impossible for Miami, given where Cam Ward is and this receiving core. It would be huge for Mario Cristobal to have a huge season with Cam Ward and this offense. Over 9 at -110. Okay, so 2 more bets for us here in the college football futures market. We talked about Iowa State yesterday. UNLV over 7 wins at -140, and Miami over 9 wins at -110. Tomorrow is the Hall of Fame game. No stars for the Bears. We'll see what I'm going to play in that. Most likely going to play the over in that game. And then we'll talk about maybe baseball coming back tomorrow on the 1st of August. But for today and yesterday, we're doing just college football futures, closing out July. I should give you the winner, by the way, of the jersey signed by Julio Rodriguez at some point this week, and then also give you the leaderboard as to who won on our ROI tournament for the month of July, who gets the 1-year premium subscription to BettingPros in the app, plus $25 to the store. Hopefully have more for that for you guys as we get later into the week here for wrapping July into August. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials, at Sports Talk Matt, every morning. Daily Juice Podcast, always being brought to you by our friends at BettingPros.com.